Hi, it's Mrs. Hansen at the Town and Country Public Library. Today we're going to learn how to make turtle apple slices, which are really yummy, especially if you don't want to have a big giant apple all to yourself. So for this you'll need 2 large apples. I have right there. They're already washed and ready to go. About 2.5 cups of chocolate chips. I like the Nestle brand, and it's the semi-sweet chocolate chips. And in with the chocolate chips, you're going to need a tablespoon of oil. I like to use coconut oil. And then 1 cup of caramels. And I use these Kraft caramels. You'll also need a microwave, measuring cups, a 1.5 cup, measuring spoons, something to cut your apples on, a nice sharp chef's knife, and some spoons to stir up your caramel and your chocolate. So we're going to get started, and because melting the chocolate chip takes some time, we're going to start with that. So I said 2.5 cups of chocolate chips. So let's just get those measured. I bet it's going to be the whole bag. There's 1. Yep, I was right. 2 and a half. So I was right. It's basically the whole bag. So we're going to put in a tablespoon of the coconut oil, but I'm going to get them started melted first a little bit before I do that. So you melt them in 30-second increments up to 2 minutes. So we'll start with that. Okay, while those chips are melting, I'm going to cut up my apples. You want to get really large apples. These happen to be Fuji apples. And you're going to cut them about 1/2 inch. So just like this. So there's 1 slice, and there's my chocolate chips. So I'm going to take my spoon and stir them up. Let's see what they look like. Not much happened, but I'm still going to stir them around a little bit because the bottom ones are getting soft. There, you can see. Okay. Okay, so 30 seconds and 30 seconds is 1 minute. So we're down 1 minute. Okay. And I'm going to cut this. Okay. I'm going to cut this one, I think, in half a little bit more. Okay, that one looks to be about the right size. And I don't like the seeds in the center part of the apple, so I am going to cut it on the side like this. All right, put that in the garbage. And check out the chocolate chips. Okay, a little bit softer. They're starting to get softer on the bottom, as you can see. Looking good. Nice and gooey. Smells good too. Okay. So another 30 seconds. And we're going to cut this other apple on another plate. Let's see. Be very careful when you're cutting these apples. If you're unsure, you should have an adult help you. Okay. We have all our apple slices. All right, and so we've had the chocolate chips in for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Oh, and they're looking really good. Okay. I think now is when I'll add the oil. That way it gets incorporated well. See, it still has some lumps in the middle there a little bit. So you want a tablespoon. And this doesn't have a tablespoon on it. Okay. I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon. Okay. And this is a little bit, this is not a tablespoon, so measuring, so I have to put a little more in there. Okay. Let's see. Get this out of my way. And 30 more seconds in the microwave. All right, so prepping for this, I already pre-measured and unwrapped 1 cup of caramels because you have to unwrap each one individually. The other thing I want to do is get a little bit of the seed out of this. I would normally use a smaller knife or something else to do this, but I don't have that ability right now. Okay. Alrighty, this looks good. We have the chocolate and the coconut oil is all melted nicely together. This should be a really good dip to dip our apples in. Okay, now that we have our chocolate melted, we have to melt our caramels. And the caramels, let me see what the package says. I think it's a minute. Yep. Let's see. 30 seconds. A lot of 30 seconds tonight. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can use some popsicle sticks to make this more like a caramel apple. If you want to do that, you would just make a little slit on the bottom of your apple piece, like that, and then put your stick in, like that. Be very careful doing this. Again, if you're a younger person and you don't have good knife skills, have an adult do it. Like that. And one more for this apple. This one's kind of thin. I cut this one really close. Okay, one apple done. I'm going to check on my caramel now. Okay, so this really didn't start to melt yet. So we're going to put it in for another 30 seconds. I need to stir it. You have to wipe the chocolate off from the spoon. Yeah, it really hasn't done much of anything except get a little bit soft. So that was 30 seconds. We'll put it in for another 30 seconds. The reason you keep doing it in small increments is you don't want your chocolate to burn. And also you add the oil because you don't want it to get dried out. So you do need to do those two things. It's kind of a pain to keep going back with the 30 seconds and 30 seconds, but you'll be pleased with your results. Okay, so I'm going to put more popsicle sticks in these apples. I'm not sure if I like the skin on this. I might cut this off if I was at home. We'll see. We'll see how it tastes. There, and one more. Okay, and I'm going to move this out of the way and check our caramels. Ooh, yes, they're definitely starting to melt a lot more. So I think this looks pretty good. Maybe one more 30 second because it's kind of still lumpy in the middle there. So it also depends upon your microwave itself as to how many times you have to do these 30-second intervals. This ended up being 2 minutes, and the caramels I think are going to be 1.5 minutes. So while that is happening, I have a tray. You can use, like a cookie sheet or something, and you can use either parchment, wax paper. I happen to have just plastic wrap on hand, so make sure you have a tray set up because we're going to dip, swirl, and then enjoy. Oh yeah, this is definitely done. Oh, melted there. Perfect. Oh, and it smells so good. Okay, so one way you can do this is to start by dipping it in chocolate, putting it on the tray, and then swirling it with the caramel. Or you can dip it in the caramel, put it on the tray, and swirl it with chocolate. I will try it both ways and see which way we end up liking it. So first we're going to dip some in chocolate. I've got my apple. I think I'm going to move it so this is closer so I don't drip all over everything because I am notorious for making a mess. All right, so just kind of dribble the chocolate on. Get it everywhere. If you're a chocolate fiend, if you're not, you could just do one side of it. I'm going to try it a couple different ways, see how I like it. Okay. So this is if you're a chocolate person and you really, 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 really like chocolate. It's pretty much covered everywhere. Okay. Set that one there. And then we'll do another one for someone that just likes a little bit of chocolate. I'm just doing it on the apple side. And then that way, that side's not finished. Okay. And then this one's kind of cool because it's a wedge, it's a little different. I imagine that you could get really fancy and top these things with all kinds of goodies. I bet you could top them with sprinkles, mini marshmallows. If you aren't allergic to nuts and you like nuts, you could do peanuts or pecans. I wonder what else. Can't think of anything else. Those all sound really good. Okay, so I have my chocolate pieces all done. I got one for the person that loves tons of chocolate and 3 for people that just like some. Now I'm gonna try doing the caramel. Now this did get a little hard or tacky waiting for me to finish, so I'm just gonna stir it up a little bit. And you could put, so this would be like your typical caramel apple. Okay. 1, 2. I'm noticing that the part of the apple that's exposed, it has a little bit of moisture on it, and caramel doesn't seem to want to stick to it as much as the skin. So that's an interesting thing. Ooh, lots of caramel, yum. Okay, 2 more, let's see. I think I'm gonna go back to chocolate. That seems to be easier with the cut part of the apple. Lots of chocolate. And do this one, whoops. This one caramel. You could get really creative with this too, I imagine. I think I might end up having to put this caramel back into the microwave for the drizzling part because it is getting a little bit firm. Okay. And chocolate. Okay. Ooh, this looks so good. Smells good too. Okay. Alrighty. So I have a bunch of chocolate ones and a couple caramel ones. I am going to put the caramel back in just to heat it up a little bit because it did get a little firm, as I said. Probably just 10 seconds. Okay. Those look really good. It's kind of nice to have something not as so big as a big giant caramel apple that you have to cut up. This is a nice snack size. Oh yes. Nice and drizzly. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, take my spoon and just drizzle it over the top of the chocolate ones. Make a little design. We want, it's very gooey. Whoa, that one came out quickly. And this is why you have wax paper down, because if you're a mess like me, a mess maker, then you don't have to worry about anything. Okay, caramel ones are done. Now we're going to put a little bit of chocolate on these guys. Oh, if you wiggle the spoon, it does different things. Makes it kind of finer look. Okay. Now, if you had other toppings like nuts or mini marshmallows or sprinkles, colored sugar, you could sprinkle those on top and make that extra fancy, but this is what we have for now. Then you pop these into the refrigerator for about an hour to let them set so that the caramel and the chocolate get hard. And then you can enjoy. So I'm going to try one, even though it's probably not going to be pretty, and just see what it tastes like. Whoops, the caramel's coming off because it's not set. Ooh, look how gooey and yummy that looks. Okay, try one. Okay. It's very good. 2 thumbs up. I hope you enjoy this and try it at home. It'll be a great snack to have over the holidays. Bye now.